Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. It's Michael at Backyard Creations Pharaoh Ironworks. Today I'm going to be building or making some rings for these 6 3/4 inch speakers that are going to go overhead in my Explorer. There will be 4 of them in a panel that I'm going to build overhead. You saw my video on doing the Jasper jig. I'm going to use the large jig to begin with. To cut the outside, and then I'm going to switch and cut the inside and use the smaller jig. So I've already got this set up. Something you need to note is you want on your lowest section on your plunge for the bit to go through your 3/4 MDF and like that. Anyway, I did some measuring. The rings measure 7 inches across, so I'm going to make it a 1/2 inch wider than that. So we're going to go to 8 on the circle, on the outside circle. That's why I need to use the big jig. I'm going to, and I measured the speaker, the mounting point in the speaker, and it's 5.5. So I'm going to go slightly larger than 5.5 because you don't want a speaker to fit in a hole 100% tight. So I'm going to go like 5, and I think it'll let me do 9/16. Yeah, it'll let me go to 9/16. So that'll give you enough play in there that they're not real tight. The speaker doesn't need to be jammed in the hole. So I'm going to get into it and reset up and come back. Alright guys, first thing I'm going to do is take and drill a hole. You don't want to go all the way through, you just want to, because if you go all the way through, the pin will fall out. Drill in 6 holes for the pilot pin. And I've already kind of pre-measured this. I probably could have done a little better and minimized on the waist. But anyway. Alright. And that's just, and if you drill, if you're doing like a 4th order with several layers and using a baffle, you need to make sure that those holes are drilled as straight to true perpendicular as possible. It'll throw your baffle holes off whenever, if you go through at an angle, it'll throw the angle of the baffle off and your holes won't be perfect in your baffle. So of course that only really matters if you can see the holes in the baffle. I guess you can always smooth it out. So let me grab a couple more things. I'll be right back. Alright, and like I said, there's a pin, a 1/8 pin that comes with the kit. It just goes right in the hole right there. Those holes aren't exactly perfect. Like I said, with this one, it doesn't really matter unless you're cutting multiple depths. So, I cannot stress it enough. Your router will appreciate you if you take it very easy with these cuts. Okay, take just as little off and make several passes. Now on the last pass, the last couple of passes, you need to leave a little bit for strength so you can finish cutting the rings. And you'll have to come out and cut them out with a, let's see, we're going to turn the stop to the highest setting. y'all see where my safety glasses are at, right? On the table. Wear your PPE. All right, and like I said, I left a couple of places solid, so it's still solid, so you can cut, but it's cut most of the way through, and I'll just come out with a jigsaw and finish that off. I'm gonna go ahead and zip all of these out, and then I'm gonna change the jig, and I'll come back. All right, now, I had ended up breaking the bit, and that kind of threw my measurements off a little bit. So if you're not using a 1/8 bit or a 1/4 bit that it calls for, you need to adjust for that. And I had to make a few practice cuts. I thought I'd cut these rings too small. They're actually okay. I messed up on the first one I cut out, so I'm going to end up with 6 anyway. So what I'm going to do, what I ended up doing was, writing down what my measurements needed to be. My first cut was 6 7/8. That created the size for that needed to go around the speaker ring, and then you go 3/8 down. Since I was using a 3/8 bit, let me unplug this. Stick my finger in the router. So I went down 3/8. Actually, you get down 6/8, 3/4, because it takes 3/8 off of both sides. Is that right? That's right. And then go down. The last measurement was 5.5, and that puts the center of the speaker like it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna cut these out. I'm gonna clean them up, and I'll come back. Okay, so this is how they turned out. They're countersunk. They're a little ragged around the edges, so you've got to do a little cleanup. But there's going to be cleanup when you get done making your panel. So, like I said, what I did was I ended up, the inside of that ring was, I was using a 3/8 bit, so I ended up having to kind of adjust the measurements. So, it was at 6 7/8, and then I did a cut at 6 1/8, then a cut at 5.5, and the cut at 5.5 I did a plunge, and this is how it turned out. Like I said, I got a couple that are smaller because I messed up to begin with. I was going to cut them all out, but it's going in 2 different places, so I'm just going to try this out. So I used the oscillating sander to clean it up. This is a very good tool to have in the workshop if you're doing any woodwork. I've not had it long. It's not a very expensive one. It comes from Harbor Freight. So, you know, if it dies, I'll buy a better one. But this is a good tool to have in your shop. Like I said, if you're going to be working like this, router is almost, you know, you're going to have one. And the Jasper jig. So those are all well worth your money if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, you know, modifying stereos and changing stuff and building panels for your buddies and such as that. It is unseasonably warm for December. So anyway, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and thanks for watching.